Welcome everybody to Thursday evening to the Trackilicious GT3 GT4 Mixed Championship Round 3 here at Monza. Just starting our qualifying session. So we'll jump straight into it. Alright, so for those of you who are new here, 20-minute qualifying session. First minute is for setup changes only, so there will be no cars on the track. As you can see, a car in the distance already queued up. But at the 19-minute mark, the GT4 split 2 drivers will come out. They'll go from 19 to 13. At the 13-minute mark, the GT4 split 1 drivers will come out. They'll go from 13 to 7. Then from 7 to 0, all of the GT3 drivers will come out and do their laps. And again, or not again, but if you cross the line before the 13-minute mark or before the 7-minute mark, you can complete your lap, which may come in handy towards the end of the session. But it could also mess with the split 1 drivers, as they may run into some GT3 traffic coming out of the pits. As we have a couple drivers taking the track, we have Gabe Carness leading the pack out of the pits. Tonight we have a 60-minute race here at Monza with a mandatory pit stop. That mandatory pit stop requires a tire change and does not require fuel. So, we'll keep that in mind with some of the strategies. As you can see, it's 11 o'clock in the evening. In-game. Pretty dark qualifying session, that's for sure. Now Monza, track known for its straights, and it's known for its public lobbies, especially at T1, or not T1, but the first chicane, the fast right-hander of Curva Grande, and the second chicane. A lot of drama can happen on the first lap of the race. Can definitely ruin your race as quickly as it starts, that's for sure. As we got Gabe Carness, he's going to be crossing the line, starting his first flyer of the session. Carness in that 9 Camaro with Curva Caressers Racing. We got Altered, Mr. Blaine Hall in the chat. How are you doing tonight, my friend? You ready for your first race here at Monza? Also, how are the audio levels? Is my microphone fine? Too loud? Too quiet? Is the game too loud? Too quiet? As for the GT4s, in free practice we were watching about a 58.892 as Gabe Carness goes really wide at the first Lesmos, and that invalidates his lap. We'll jump on board with Adam Delbecki as they are still valid. So make their way around the second Lesmos. Way down this long straight that is slightly kinked to the left. $10 to 15%. Okay, we'll try 40, and we will go from there. see how that sounds for everyone, and hopefully it sounds better. Perfect. As he makes his way around Parabolica, he's going to be setting the charts, setting the bar for these GT4 Split 2 drivers. Where's he going to land? With a 202.662. So we got the 94 car coming across the line. Who is that? I'm just trying to find them. That's Alex Martin. He crosses the line with a 203.327. You got Charles Wolfe, the 88 Porsche, with a 202.607. Matthew Haight coming across the line with a 202.680. That is a very close top three right now. Well, it was close until Ricky Scott comes in with the flyer with a 201.777. There was like 7 hundredths between 2, 3, and 4 right now. Which is a very close qualifying so far. But obviously, first laps need to warm up the tires a little bit more, so the second lap should be a little quicker. As it takes these GT4 drivers a little longer for the tires to warm up compared to the GT3 drivers. Ah, man, I'm sorry to hear that, Giborski? Or is it like a hard G, like Giborski? But let's go CC Racing. So we've got Alex Martin. He crossed the line a little whiles back with a 203.327. Gabe Carness coming around Parabolica as we speak. Currently sitting P12, but with a flyer that's going to bump him up to P5 with a 202.737. Right behind him, you have, I believe that is Daniel Versosa with a 2 minutes 5:05. As these drivers are finishing up their qualifying session. Right now, Alex Martin about 6/10 up on his time. Jumps up to P4 with that lap with a 202.610. Got a couple more drivers coming across the line. We got Santiago Orozco with a 202.407, putting him up to P5. Number 8 is about to cross the line. That's Ricky Scott. And he crosses the line, taking pole position, or provisional pole for the GT4 Split 2 drivers, with a 2 minute 3:62. As I think we still have 1 or 2 drivers on track. Jack Thompson, I believe, is doing his... It's going to be his only valid lap of the session. Assuming he kept it valid there, which it looks like he did. I believe he's currently 7/10 off of pace. But that's not... it's not very far off. And qualifying and race pace are 2 different things. As he makes his way around Parabolica. Jack Thompson, he's going to cross the line. Jumping him up to P3 with a 201.322. You got Ed Kerstetter, the first Split 1 driver coming across the line to start his first flyer in that 949 Sim Racing Maserati. As he, I believe he locked up and just went straight through with a chicane. Okay, just drove right through it. That invalidates his lap early on, and he's gonna have to look ahead for the next one. So we got Professor Credotus now leading the pack. Makes his way towards the second chicane here. Coming around the first Lesmos. And the seconds. As we have a 7.5 second gap for GT4 split 2 drivers between P1 and P10, which is quite the pace difference. Then you add the GT3s into that mix, they're probably going to be, I'd say they'd be about 10 seconds quicker than the GT4s. At least the top times, that is. As Chronotis comes down the final straight of the lap, starts making his way around Parabolica. He's going to set the bar for these split 1 GT4 drivers, see where he ends up. Ends up in P1 with a 159.627. Then you got the 28 car of Riley Manier, quickly dethrones him with a 158.750. You got Jarek Snyder with a 2 minutes 560, jumping up to P6. We're going to have a couple more drivers crossing the line, I believe. Is that the 43 car of Jarek Snyder? No. It was the 42 car of Professor Chronotis. We got Moses crossing the line. We got Provolone crossing the line. Moses currently sitting with a 159.177 in P2. You got Chronotis still in P3 with a 159.627, and you got Jason Provolone with a 2 minutes .072. As there'll be a little bit of a gap between... Oh, big spin in the background for number 44. That is a 44 car of Reggie King. A huge spin from him, and that's going to ruin his qualifying, and he's not going to be able to get a valid lap in. Big spin from him. As we got the 29 car, I believe that's still Ed Kerstetter in that Maserati. It'll be close if when he crosses the line. He may not get a valid lap in. As I'll jump on board with Chronotis, currently 4/10 up on his time. It'll be close. He might jump up to P2 here after coming across the line, but Ed Kerstetter is not able to cross the line in time. He's not going to be able to set a valid lap as Chronotis comes around for the final time. And he is going to cross with a 159.052, jumping up to P2. You got Riley Manier improving with a 158.120, but quickly gets dethroned by Ollie Raza with a 157.887. You got Jarek Snyder jumping up with a 159.232. Provolone with a 159.3. Couple more drivers. You got the 263 car of Ricardo Sapien with a 2 minutes 367, jumping up to P11. You got Peter Hutchings jumping up to P3 and all that madness with a 158.615. You got Mike Burkhoff in there with a 159.280. Burkhoff in P7 at the moment, and Hutchings in P3. Who else do we got? We got Jose Bravo with the Tacos Locos BMW. Currently sitting P13 with a 2 minutes 552 in P13. As we see the GT3 drivers came out a little while ago. A couple of them start to take the track. GT4 drivers should be just coming in for their in-laps. As who is leading our GT3 fields? Is that Quinn Smith? No, looks like it ends with a 7. Might be Tanner Masters. Nope. Blaine Hall. It is Blaine Hall leading the pack, making his way around Parabolica in that 27 Pepega Squad Mercedes. Gisu Motorsport. How are you doing tonight? Who is that? That is Alex Martin, if I'm not mistaken. currently P18, and it looks like... Is that P7 in class? If so, that's a banger of a qualifying lap. Vivacious, how are you doing tonight? As we'll jump back on board with Blaine Hall. About 4.5 minutes left to go in this qualifying session. Some of these drivers will have another 2 laps after this, but some drivers may only get 2 laps. That bonus lap may come in handy towards the end. So we have a big field here at Monza tonight. We have 38 cars. Obviously not on track right now. We have 38 cars in the server, which is quite a big turnout. There's Blaine Hall making his way through Shyguy down this final stretch towards Parabolica. He's going to set the bar for these GT3 cars. Makes his way around to Parabolica. Where is he going to cross the line? He's going to cross the line with a 149.977. Then you have Alejandro Aguilar. Was in P2, quickly gets thrown to P3 with a 152.92. You got Nate Lamlin. He jumps up to P1 with a 149.142. Joseph Kosovic with a 149.307. Ricardo Rivera with a 149.742. You got Blaine Hall setting the first lap. He's already down to P4. We see Rogero Santos coming across the line, P6 with a 151.210. You got Quinn Smith with a 152.390, currently sitting P7 in that Lexus. You got Tanner Masters with a 153.850, P8, and you got Gage Gonzalez in P9 with a 154.437. As a 149.1 in the GT3 car. I believe that was the second quickest lap I saw in free practice. The quickest lap I saw was a 148.8, but I believe that was on an optimum track. So 149.1 could take pole here, but there's still a few more laps to go. So we'll jump on board with Aguilar with the YCR 133 GTR. As he makes his way towards Parabolica. Makes his way around the final turn. See where he ends up. He's going to have another go at it if he likes, if he has enough fuel. But from P5, he's going to jump. He's not going to be able to improve, actually. He's going to sit P5 as a couple more drivers. We got Blaine Hall quickly dethroned by Rivera. Rivera with a 148.985. Blaine Hall with a 149.080. Brian Kanapin with a 149.092 in P3. You got Joseph Kostovic, P4 with a 149.112. Dropping Nate Lamlin down to P5 after these drivers have been setting some banger laps. As it looks like all these drivers are actually going to get another shot at this, as the 23 car is going to be the final car across to get that extra lap, that last lap. That's the 23 car of Kevin Huffman. Kevin Huffman of Box 3 Motorsports. As we got Ricardo Rivera still at the top of the leaderboard with 148.985. And currently about a tenth and a half. Ooh, that's an off track there. Hopefully that Audi stays out of the way there. And that's the Audi of maybe Shane Rees. Looks like he may be having some troubles as He jumps up to P8 with a he's sitting P8 with a 151.092, and he's going to return to the pits. But Blaine Hall is on a scorcher, and I believe right now he's going to take pole with this lap here, or provisional pole, I should say, as looks like he's about 7/10 up on his time. We'll see where he crosses the line. He's going to remain P2 as... Oh, he invalidated, I think. That's unfortunate. As we have Kostovich. He has enough time to jump up to pole. And he takes provisional pole with 148.812 as the 40 car comes across. That's Brian Knappen. 148.982 P3. We have, I believe that was Santos. Jumps up to P8. We got the 999 car of Quinn Smith. Currently the fastest lap right now. With a 148.595, a banger of a lap from him, and the 13 car of Gonzalez jumps up to P7 with a 49.522. We got the number 5 car, last car on track. That is the 5 car of Eric Kukasian, has yet to set a qualifying lap. Let's see where this places them. From P35 all the way up to P12. With a 155.420, and that is going to round out your qualifying for round 3 here at Monza. Yeah, so those were some quick laps from these guys. Quinn Smith on the last lap, coming out with the hero lap, the scorcher. Thanks everyone for coming here to Trackilicious, spending your Thursday evening, afternoon, early morning with us, depending on what time of the part of the world you're in. We're here at Monza for round 3 of the Trackilicious GT3 GT4 Summer 2022 Mixed Championship. Tonight we got a 60-minute race with 1 mandatory pit stop. Now, what that means is, if you look to the left side of the screen, you'll see your favorite driver. You'll see their car, brand, their number, and you'll see a box with a 1 inside it, and it should be yellow. That means they need to take 1 mandatory pit stop. That mandatory pit stop consists of at least a tire swap, and fuel is not mandatory. There is no pit window, so you could pit lap 1, you could pit on the final lap. And we got Huffman, Kevin Huffman, that's Huffmaniac. It's going to have to be starting from the back of the pack, and a GT3 car. We'll do a quick grid rundown before the driver starts formation lap, and we have a lot of ground to cover. Quinn Smith taking pole position in that Lexus. Alongside him, you got Joseph Kostovich, going to have the outside line going into the first chicane. Ricardo Rivera on P3. Brian Knappen alongside him in P4. Blaine Hall in P5. Nate Lamlin, P6. You got Gage Gonzalez in P7. Alejandro Aguilar in P8. Rogero Santos in P9. Shane Rees in P10. Tanner Masters in P11. And Eric Kukasian in P12. That rounds out your GT3 field who have set qualifying laps. Your pole setter for Split 1 GT4 was Ollie Raza. P2 you got Riley Manier, Peter Hutchings in that Protocharged Sim Sport Janetta. You got Professor Chronotis behind him, Chris Moses, Jarek Snyder, Mike Burkhoff, Jason Provolone, and then Justin Beachley. You got Ricky Scott for the GT4 Split 2 drivers taking pole position for the Split 2 GT4s. You got Ricardo Sapien, Daniel Versosa, Jose Bravo, Jack Thompson, Matthew Haight, Charles Wolfe, Santiago Orozco, Alex Martin, Adam Delbecki, Gabe Carness. And those were all the drivers who set a valid qualifying lap. as we got Kevin Huffman, that's Huffmaniac over of Box 3 Motorsports. He's going to be starting towards the back of the field in a GT3 car after failing to set a valid lap. You got Ed Kerstetter, that 29 Maserati, starting from the back. He wasn't able to set a valid lap either, but luckily they're in a GT4 car. You got Reggie King, who's Adam Pulaski, and Andreas Mostachero. These bottom 5 drivers did not set a lap. They'll be starting from the back, and that could spell bad news, especially for Kevin Huffman in that GT3 car. He's going to have to be patient as the drivers start their formation lap, so we can get this 60-minute sprint race here at Monza started. Yeah, the top driver for GT4 Split 2 was, I believe that is Ricky Scott. We got Dank Roma and Nox Stilez. Currently 1 o'clock a.m. here at Monza, a fast track, but as we can see in the weather forecast, in about 15 minutes time we are expecting some rain here. You'll love to see it. Maybe if you're not the Maserati of Ed Kerstetter, having no traction control and having no ABS. But this will be an interesting race, to say the least. You're my boy, Blue. Yes, it is the Lexus of Quinn Smith, the 999 Lexus of Madhouse Racing. I mean, I feel like that's a little expected considering the top speed of the Lexus and how straight Monza is. If you're like someone in like a Porsche, for example, where the top speed isn't the main part of the car, you might struggle. As they make their way down this final stretch, as they start making their way side by side. Quinn Smith's going to have the inside line going into the first chicane. Joseph Kostovich is going to have the outside line. We all know how T1 Monza usually plays out in the open lobbies. Hopefully that doesn't happen here. We can only hope. We can only pray. But we also got to be careful for... You got to be careful between chicane 1 and chicane 2. Those are the terrible... Those are usually the worst of the worst in the public lobbies as they make their way around Parabolica. Make their way side by side down the main straight. They're waiting for the green flag to start the 60-minute race here at Monza for the GT3 GT4 Mixed Championship here at Trackilicious. And we are green. We'll see where Quinn Smith and Joseph Kostovich are, what they are able to do coming down the main straight. It looks like Quinn Smith is able to get off nicely, but you got Rivera right on the tail of Quinn Smith. Rivera, they're going to go 3 wide going into the first chicane. This could be costly. And there's going to be a little bit of bumping. It looks like it's relatively clean. There's some yellow in the backfield there. Blaine Hall. It looks like it was relatively clean, if I do think so. If I think so myself. There may have been 1 or 2 cars, but Quinn Smith gets a scorcher of a start, and he already has over a second lead on Joseph Kostovich in that Lexus. Joseph Kostovich currently under fire from Brian Knappen. And Knappen under fire from Rivera. It looks like Hall might try to make a move on Rivera, as the 8 car of Ricky Scott, he is returned. That was your GT4 Split 2 pole setter, and he returned to pits. I wonder what happened there. As we got Ricardo Rivera still under fire from Blaine Hall. For the most part. Wait, you got taken out on the straight? Are you Ricky Scott? I wonder what happened. Anyways, that was a relatively clean start. It looked like there was only minor fatalities. There was only one driver who got the race completely ruined, which is, you know, that's better than I expected, but very unfortunate for the one driver. I am really sorry to hear that, dude. That is unfortunate. I've still got Rivera and Blaine Hall going at it. Quinn Smith has already built himself up a 2-second gap to Kostovic. Kostovic about a second gap to Knapin. And Rivera and Blaine Hall are going to go side by side. And Blaine Hall is going to overshoot it and it's going to give the position back and might lose out to Nate Lamlin in the process. And he does lose out to Nate Lamlin. Now it's going to put Blaine Hall down to P6. I guess he missed his braking point and went right through the chicane. But Blaine is not going to let that go unanswered. He's going to want that back after that early mistake. As now we have about 5 minutes until the rain kicks in, as we have Reggie King in the pits already. He's green. And this is a very ambitious strategy, as it might rain. They might want to grab some wet tires. We'll see if the strategy pays off. We'll see as the track flicks to optimum grip. Still got Rivera and Lamlin. We have been at this side of the field all throughout so far. We got Ollie Raza. No, sorry. We got Riley Manier currently sitting P1 for the GT4 drivers, followed by Ollie Raza, Peter Hutchings in P3, but he's being hunted down by Chronotis. It looks like they're side by side coming down the back stretch. The top speed of that Ginetta not helping out Peter Hutchings at all, as they're going to go side by side going through Parabolica. Chronotis and Hutchings, as Kevin Huffman, the GT3 driver, is just going to get in the middle of these two and he's going to fly down the straight. But Hutch and Chronotis are still going to be side by side. Chronotis is actually going to get the better of Hutch so far, and Hutch is going to slot in behind Chronotis. Looks like he's not going to have an answer with the top speed of that Mercedes, as a lunge from the Porsche. Was that... what happened there? That's the 23 car of Kevin Huffman is backwards and stuck. That looked like a Porsche that just went through, but I don't see a Porsche. Was that... I don't know, but something happened there, and Huffman is... what happened there? What the heck? Anyways, we'll jump back on board with Professor Chronotis, currently being hunted down by Jarek Snyder. It looks like Chronotis may have gone a little wide, and Hutch was able to get by, and Snyder is going to go side by side through the Lesmos. He's going to back off. As there's a little bit of yellow for the 494 car of Kostovic at Ascari. Jump back on board with Orozco and Carnes, currently P21 in the standings. Let's see. We got Rogero Santos being hunted down by Shane Rees. Shane Rees in that 949 UK Sim Racing Audi. As it has started to rain, the track is greasy. It's going to pick up in about 5 minutes, but then it's going to stop in about 15. As we got Moses hunting down Chronotis, as Chronotis went really wide, and that lets Moses by, and Jarek Snyder might have a go at him. No. Yes, that was right. As we see a couple of these drivers pitting We've got Orozco and Carnes. Gonna go side by side down the main straight. So with a greasy track, make sure you give each other extra room. And was that Orozco that went through? No, that was, I believe that was Jose Bravo who cut the chicane, and he's gonna drop. He's gonna go side by side down the Curva Grande with Orozco. We've got Aguilar being hunted down by Gage Gonzalez. Opening about 7.5 minutes of this race. Quinn Smith has taken an 8.6 second gap to Brian Knappen, and about a 5.7 second gap between Knappen and Rivera. As we still got Aguilar and Gonzalez going at it. Ooh. Gonna go too wide into the pit lane. Chronotis is being hunted down by Snyder. Both of these two drivers are teammates, as they are both going to jump into the pit lane. So we got Adam Delbecchi and Ricardo Sapien. It's going to go side by side down Parabolica. Delbecchi is going to stay ahead for now. So I believe that's the closest battle on track right now. No, it's not, as we got Charles Wolf and Burkhoff going to go side by side down the main straight. Track condition now wet. It's going to pick up in about 5, but it's going to stop at about 15. As the 27 car of Blaine Hall gets a 30-second stop go for speeding in the pits, and I believe that's Charles Wolf is just going to go straight through the chicane. Nope, that was Burkhoff, so excuse me. Mike Burkhoff just completely, I guess, maybe locked up or misjudged his braking point because of the wetness of the track. So we got Nate Lamlin getting by some GT4 traffic. Got Hayton Versosa. And there is an Audi of, I believe that's the Audi of Tanner Masters going straight through that chicane. And there's, I believe that's Blaine Hall going through that chicane. A lot of these drivers are missing their points, as we got a slow car in the grass. Takes out the first braking point and avoids the second. As we got Blaine Hall is going to be coming around Daniel Versosa as we speak. And Gonzalez is going to do the same thing. You're also going to have Joseph Kostovich right behind these drivers shortly. As we got Delbecchi and Jack Thompson. Ooh, and it looks like Delbecchi, maybe a huge lockup or missed the braking point there, and they're going to drop off by quite a bit there. As we got Burkhoff getting passed by Nate Lamlin and being hunted down by Pulaski. And I'm sorry to hear that, man. I know you qualified P1, you had such a good quali, and you got taken out on the straight, not even T1. I'm sorry to hear that. Let's jump back on board with Matthew Haight and Daniel Versosa battling out for P23 and 24 as they're side by side, and Haight actually touches the grass and sends himself into the wall. Oh, no, you hate to see it. Hold the brakes. And both... Oh! Good night. That is a big hit, and that is going to kill Matthew Haight and the 67 car of Jose Bravo, and another car gets caught up in that. Was that Quinn Smith? Was that Quinn Smith who just smoked him? Oh no, that looked terrible. Someone smoked him there, but I don't know who that second car was. Doesn't look like Quinn Smith is damaged at all. Wild, that's for sure. But that is definitely the end of Matthew Haight's race. Let's see what we got going on. We got Ed Kerstetter and Gage Gonzalez, different classes, but you got Kerstetter and Burkhoff, who are in the same class. They're going to be fighting for it, and Burkhoff's going to go side by side with Kerstetter to make their way down the straight, and looks like Burkhoff is able to get ahead of Kerstetter. No, not Kerst. Yeah, it is Kerstetter, sorry. As we got Lamlin and Beachley, different classes, but they're bumper to bumper right now. We're almost a quarter of the way into this into this race here at Monza. This wet, rainy evening. It's gonna clear up in about 15 minutes tops, it's saying. The rain's gonna lighten up a little bit in about 5 minutes time. Nate Lamlin with NML Racing and that number 11 BMW. We got Rogero Santos currently sitting P20. We got Reggie King and Blaine Hall. Blaine Hall in GT3, so not much of competition in that overtake, as Blaine Hall is actually going to overshoot the chicane. Actually battles? Yes, there is Charles Wolf and Professor Chronotis. Wolf is gonna go wide at the first Lesmos there. And that's gonna let Chronotis by no problems. As we have Shane Rees hunting down Alejandro Aguilar. Doesn't get a good enough run, and he's going to slot in behind him going into the first chicane as we have another car going straight through the chicane. Shane Rees drops back to Aguilar for a little bit. We got Hutchings and Versosa. As this field is pretty spread out at the moment, but we got Hutchings and Pulaski now. Hutchings getting by, but Hutchings just going straight through the chicane. Seems like there is a lot of that going on tonight. As we got Shane Rees getting by Ollie Raza. Of course, Ollie Raza in the GT4 McLaren. Shane Rees in the GT3 Audi. Ooh, as it looks like we may have some drama over at the first chicane for Blaine Hall, and I believe he disconnected from the server. Not Blaine's night tonight, that's for sure. He's had a very unfortunate night, very unfortunate evening. Hopefully he comes back next week, assuming there's spots open. Just gotta... It's been a tough one for some of these drivers. So we got Ricardo Rivera and Riley Manier, different classes. We got Jack Thompson and Gabe Cardes. We're getting fairly close to one another. As your race lead of Brian Knappen, who has yet to pit, currently leading this race by 40 seconds. But again, he has yet to pit, as we have Nate Lamlin getting by Eric Gukasian for P5, but Eric has not pitted yet. So I make the way around the chicane. These GT3 drivers are going to run into some GT4 traffic relatively soon, and looks like Lamlin already does. He's going to place his car on the inside of the first Lesmos, giving the GT4 driver lots of space. Moses slots in behind Lamlin, and Lamlin is going to go ahead. We got Aguilar getting by Manier, but Manier's in a GT4. We got Shane Rees and Eric Gukasian. Looks like Shane Rees was able to get the move done and gets by Gukasian. As in about 5 minutes time, there will be no more, or the rain won't be... Wow. It will stop raining in about 5 minutes time. The track might be a little wet for some time just because of the evening. It's a dark track. It's a cold track. It's not going to dry up very much. But maybe some of these drivers who pitted early might have to find the wet line to cool their tires off if they plan to finish this race on these wets. But I think that'll be very hard to do, as there are still 40 minutes to go. As we got Aguilar and Lamlin going side by side. Doesn't look like Lamlin has the run, and it's going to slot in behind Aguilar. As Adam Delbecke gets a drive-through for track limits. That is the 222 Camaro. As Knappen actually pitted, he falls behind a lot of these drivers. Drops down to P7, and the top 6 have pitted. Ooh, as the BMW is gonna of Gonzalez, it's gonna go right through that chicane. And it looks like he's gonna give the spot to Kostovich. As we still have Aguilar and Lamlin going at it for P2 and P3. Looks like Lamlin was trying to make the move, but is Aguilar going to try for the switchback? Doesn't look like he's able to make the switchback happen. And Lamlin is going to take P2 for now. No, he's not. He's going to fall back to Aguilar. Aguilar is still ahead of Lamlin at the end of the straight. So we got Delbecke serving his drive-through penalty. The number 5 car, that's Eric Gukasian over at Ascari. A little drama there. We'll see if Lamlin can get the run, the slipstream going on Aguilar. It looks like he's going to make the lunge going into the T1. Doesn't look like he's able to get the run, and he's just going to have to slot behind Aguilar for now. He's going to have to keep trying. So we got Jack Thompson and Professor Chronotis going at it. Side by side, Chronotis has pitted, and it looks like Chronotis is going to slot in ahead for now, with Gabe Carness in close in tow. Let's see, the closest battle on track right now, Chris Moses and Adam Delbecke for P27 and P28, but Delbecke has not pitted yet, and Moses has. As we jump back on board with Carness and Thompson, both of these drivers have yet to pit. Carness is going to slot in behind Thompson for now, as there is a couple yellow flags on the track. There's one after the first chicane, and there is one after Ascari. Looks like there is still a slow car up ahead. That might be, I believe that is Santiago Orozco? No, that is the number 3 car. No, is it? No. Yeah, I think that might have been Orozco, but I don't know, as another person cuts the chicane. So we have Andreas Mostachero and Jack Thompson going at it. Mostachero has pitted, Thompson has not, as it has stopped raining, but the track is still wet for the time being. As we have Pulaski well, it is lonesome for now. As Carness and Thompson are going to go side by side. I believe that's the race leader, Kanapin, right in front of him. As the 3 car of Santiago Orozco, looks like they're yellowed going around Parabolic, or not Parabolica, Ascari. Ooh. And there is some yellow over at the second chicane. We got Raza and Manir. They're really close to one another. Just under a second between the two of them. We got Shane Rees and Gage Gonzalez going at it here for P4 and P5. Shane Rees just ahead of Gonzalez for now. He's going to have to take the defensive line going into Ascari. And Gonzalez tries for the switchback, but Rees parks it perfectly. It gets a little bit of loose coming out of the final turn, and that's going to let Gonzalez by as there are some yellow flags up ahead. Hopefully these drivers take that into effect as Ricardo Sapien is facing the wrong way, waiting for the opportune and safe moment to rejoin the track, hopefully after the 8 car here. He is going to wait it out, and he's going to rejoin safely, but it looks like he took a huge shunt into that wall. Oh! Oh no! No! What just happened? No, that's not what I wanted. Well, that's unfortunate. But Jesus, he got smoked. Jesus, that is unfortunate. I wonder what happened there. Like, I don't know. Well, we got Munir and Raza going at it side by side. Munir's going to apply the squeeze to Raza. Oh, it looks like a big tap between Raza and the Porsche. Special Kaus. Welcome. As we have Tanner Masters and Quinn Smith going at it for P6 and P7. Looks like Smith is on the inside going into Ascari. Looks like Smith is going to be able to take that position as Masters gets a little bit loose, and he's in the sand right now coming out of Ascari. Special Chaos. Okay. I will try to remember that. Okay. As we have a couple stop goes for the 222 car and the 3 car and the 74 car. I wonder if somebody took out that pit board. No, because that was just, I think, yeah, maybe. No, I think he may have just been... No, I don't know what I'm talking about. But, okay, as we got Knappen currently trying to get through some P4 traffic. I don't believe this is a safety rating. I think you just need 3 track medals. As we got the 28 cars yellow flagged on the main straight. This is the 28 car of Riley Munir. They're green. Doesn't look like they suffered any damage, so it might have just been slight, as looks like they're going to drive straight through the chicane. So we got Beachley and Chronotis going at it down the main straight side by side. It looks like Chronotis has a way better run than Beachley. Seems like the top speed of that Mercedes GT4 is pretty mega at the moment. That's going to put Chronotis up into P11 overall. Yeah, and this is currently a league race. This is our GT3, GT4 mixed summer championship. Round 3 here at Monza. We also have a Sunday night league for GT3 only. We have, I believe it's a Tuesday night league for like M2s and Ferraris, or no, not Ferraris, but Porsches maybe, or maybe just M2s. They just started a wacky Wednesday kinda league, not really a league, but it's a league in a sense. As we have Moosehead Bob. How are you doing tonight? So we're just over halfway of this 60-minute sprint race here at Monza. Track is still pretty wet, as it rained for first about like 5-10 minutes, and it rained for about 15 minutes. Might take a little while for these, for the grip to come back onto the track, as the track is quite cool. Sun's not out to help dry it. Where do you sign up? I can grab you a link. I do believe it is full at the moment, but you can sign up as a reserve driver, and from there you should be able to, you know, if usually slots opened. So that link right there, you can sign up there. We're full right now, but you can sign up as a reserve driver, and if there is an opening, you can race with us, as long as you are one of the few drivers who answer the call first, as there is a yellow flag for the 494 car. Is that Kostovich? That is Kostovich. Currently sitting at P4, being hunted down by Shane Rees. You got 949 and 949 UK. Ricardo Rivera currently leading this race by 10.7 seconds. Then you got Aguilar in P2, has about a 3-second gap on Gage Gonzalez in P3. Gage Gonzalez has about a 4.5-second gap to Kostovich behind. Shane Rees is about 2.3 seconds behind Kostovich, rounded out your top 5. Your pole sitter, Quinn Smith, currently sitting P6 in that Lexus. As we have Son of Urel 629 gifting a sub to Muff STR. That's Justin Moffat of, I believe that's Crazy Rabbits Racing. I don't know if Muff is here tonight, but thanks for the gift sub. We appreciate it here at Trackilicious. And you like communities where people race clean. Obviously that is the goal. There's a number 8 is yellow flagged on this straight here. Off of the track, off to the side, that is Ricky Scott. Ricky Scott got into a little incident off the opening straight. Not even the first chicane. Got taken out a little early. Glad to see him back on track. But that's the goal here. Some clean racing. Obviously, mistakes happen, especially with a grid the size of this one. We started out the night here at 38 cars, which is quite big. As the 28 car of Riley Manier gets a 30-second stop go for speeding in the pits. Yeah, I think anything is better than an open lobby, especially at Monza. As Reggie King is going to go straight through the chicane. That's Eric Kakasian of Trackilicious Sim Racing. The number 5 Lamborghini. Ollie Raza and Peter Hutchings are neck and neck. Raza is yet to pit though, so they're not too close on track right now. But it is the closest battle we have on track. As it looks like the 94 car at Parabolica was yellow flagged. That is a 94 car of Alex Martin. The 40 car going down the main straight. Brian Knappen is... Oh no. Oh! Hate was able to see that and was able to recover as Knappen actually is facing the wrong way again. Hate almost crashes right into the back of Knappen there. So we still got Raza and Hutchins battling it out for P8 to make their way to Ascari. .21.5 minutes to go. Couple of drivers still need to make their mandatory pit stop. Ali Raza being one of them. Track is still in a wet state. The 88 car gets a 10-second penalty for a stop go 10 for cutting. That is C. Wolf. Charles Wolf in P23 right now. We got the 263 car. That is Ricardo Sapien. Yellow flagged again coming around Parabolica, and that is Brian Knappen going wide as well. So we still got Raza and Hutchins going at it. See Rivera closing in quickly. Rivera being the race leader. And Rivera stuck behind these GT4s battling it out. He has nowhere to go as he might try to send it 3 wide going into the second Lesmos. He thinks better of it. He's just going to wait his time, keep it safe, and he's going to send it on the inside of these 2 cars after the second Lesmos. Peter Hutchings is actually going to get by Ali Raza. 74 gets a drive-through for speeding in the pit lane. There's a 74 car of Mike Burkhoff. Peter Hutchings now leading Ali Raza by about half a second. '88 gets a 10-second stop go for cutting. Does he? Nope, that's another stop go. What? Interesting. Or was it the same penalty? Anyways, the track is starting to get a little spread out. Yeah, honestly, you don't need to be good. You just need to be safe. Not good, sorry. You don't need to be quick. As long as you're a safe driver, you know, if you're slow, drive-through penalty for car number 3. I believe that's a Roscoe for track limits. But as I was saying, Reggie King's going to pull off of Ascari. May have had some contact between him and Gukasian, I don't know. But anyways, what I was saying is, you know, you don't need to be quick, you just need to be, like, you just need to be aware. If you're slower, there's no point in, you know, trying to fight too much. You just gotta make sure that you're a safe driver. That's all that really matters in league racing. You know, if a GT3 is coming in out at you and you're a GT4 driver, don't block him, but, you know, let him by when safe. Or if he sends it, give him the room, you know. Just be safe. That's all you really have to do. And joining a league, I can tell you from experience, it definitely helps. It helped me at least improve quicker. Oh, what the heck? That Eric? Eric? Oh no! No! As we got Gonzalez and Aguilar battling it out, coming around Parabolica. But as I was saying, I'll get back into that story, and Gonzalez is going to have to slot in behind Aguilar as looks like there was a car coming out of the pit lane. Oh, I'm definitely going to give him a little bit of heck about that one. No, I'm kidding. That's a terrible. I bet he feels awful. I'm not going to. As we still have Aguilar and Gonzalez. That Audi going a little wide. No, that's the BMW of, I believe that's Lamlin. Ooh, a little bit of a touch between Aguilar and Gonzalez. Gonna both stay on track as Lamlin's just gonna pull out of the way. They're gonna go side by side down this left kinked straight. They're gonna go side. Looks like they're gonna go side by side going through Ascari. Aguilar's gonna stay ahead for now as Gonzalez slots behind. Maybe tries for the switchback after Ascari, or tries to get a better run going into Parabolica. Aguilar still leading Gonzalez. Just under 15 minutes to go in this race. Track is still wet. Seems like it's going to be a wet race to the end. Seems like the conditions may be a little tricky on track, as we see as the 74 car is yellow flagged right now. That's Mike Burkhoff. He's not actually yellow flagged, but he is in the pit lane. Yeah, but now that we have some breathing room, joining a league, from my experience, helps you improve at a more rapid pace. Like, I just feel like I had something to work for, you know? Instead of just jumping into a private lobby, or not a private lobby, but a public lobby, and just... Mike Burkhoff just got DSQ'd. What? But yeah, it helps you improve quicker because it just, to me, I found that like gave me that little bit of extra drive to want to improve, to want to do better. And then another thing you could try to improve with is if you've ever heard of low fuel motorsports, they are essentially an ELO based league, not league, but an ELO based system where each race or each week there is a different track. There are different kinds of races as Jack Thompson goes wide, and that's going to give Versosa a bit of a chance to catch up. Still 2 seconds out. But low fuel motorsports, there are different races, different tracks every week. You got 25-minute races, you got 45-minute races, I think you got 30-minute races, 3-hour enduros, fun stuff like that. Best part is it's free. But anyways, it doesn't seem like there's much happening on track right now. We have Gonzalez closing the gap on... No, we got Gonzalez getting past Aguilar, actually. Putting Gage Gonzalez up to P2. Gonzalez and Aguilar running into some backmarker traffic. Luckily it's down the straight, so they're not going to lose too much time. Gonzalez might get a little bit of a tow from Moses here. Doesn't look like that's going to be the case. As Bravo just backs off, he wants none of that. As Aguilar lunges past, as he is hot on the trail of Gonzalez, and he doesn't want to lose it. Losing this could mean P2 and P3 by the end of this race. I believe leading the GT4 field for Split 1 is Peter Hutchings in that Protocharged Sim Sport Janetta. I do believe that is the leader. Who do we have leading for GT3? Is it Jack Thompson leading for Split 2 right now? I think it might be. Yeah, I believe Jack Thompson is your GT4 Split 2 leader right now. And your race leader, Ricardo Rivera. But a 16-second gap to Gage Gonzalez right now. So we're under 9 minutes left to go in this race. Joseph Kostovich, though, he's catching on Aguilar quite rapidly. With a couple more laps to go. Joseph Kostovich was 9/10 quicker last lap than Aguilar. If he keeps at that pace, he's going to catch him by the end. Yeah, by the end of next lap. As we come down to the final 8 minutes of the race, would like to thank everyone again for deciding to spend your night here with us at Trackilicious for the GT3 GT4 Summer 2022 Mixed Championship. Hope everyone's been having a good time. We've seen some good racing. We've seen some questionable racing. We've seen some drama. We've seen everything. As the clock is winding down. As now we have Joseph Kostovich within a second of Aguilar now. Might be right on his wing by the end of this straight. Doesn't look like Joseph Kostovich opts for the slipstream. Maybe he's trying to cool his tires off as the track is now in a damp state, but Kostovich is getting caught up in some lapped traffic here, some GT4 traffic. Vulcan, how are you doing tonight, my friends? Hope you're doing well. Haven't heard from you in a long time. Well, yeah. Hope school's... If you're still in school, I hope school's doing okay. If not, I hope work's going okay. I hope just life's going okay in general for you. As to 949 car, I believe that's Shane Rees, gets a drive-through penalty for track limits. Currently sitting P5. He has about a 27-second gap on Quinn Smith, so he may lose out upon serving that penalty, but he may not. But we got Quinn Smith and Tanner Masters going at it now for P6 and P7. I'm glad to hear it, Vulcan, and yeah, I've been doing well. Been just working, and that's the drive-through penalty for car number 15. It is Adam Pulaski gets a drive-through, and the Porsche of, I believe that was Menier, takes a lot of curb there, but as I was saying, yeah, I've just been working and casting. Been getting back into some competitive Counter-Strike. Or at least not back into competitive, but I've been getting back into playing it. Less than 5 minutes to go. It's been a tricky race for all these drivers out here tonight. Some tricky conditions. With just under 5 minutes to go, the track at a damp state. I would imagine most of, if not all of these drivers, gonna be on wet tires still. Tires might be heating up a little bit with the track starting to dry out a little bit. The number 11 car is yellow flag. That's Nate Lamlin with NML Racing in that 11 BMW. It's yellow flag coming around Parabolica. So we still have Ricardo Rivera leading this race, but Gage Gonzalez has climbed back and about 5 seconds out. You can see him in the distance. The race is not over yet. Rivera just needs to hold on for a few more laps. As last lap, looks like Gonzalez was about, I want to say 6/10 quicker than Rivera. So luckily, I think he's got a big enough gap to keep that lead. Yeah, we got Jet Drives. How are you doing tonight? Yeah, wet Monza, and it rained towards the beginning of the race, so the track is still damp. As we probably have about 2 laps to go, we'll have this one and the next one, and that should be that. This looks like the 30 car of Ali Raza. Nope, that's the 5 car. Who is that? That is the 5 car of Eric Gukasian. May have been yellow flagged at the first chicane. It's Kostovic now within a second of Aguilar again. This is for the final podium position as the number 3 car of Orozco. Ooh, could have been sketchy for a driver, some drivers there. But Aguilar is just barely leading Kostovic now. Seems like Kostovic might try to make a move on the inside, and he does. He makes the lunge. They are going to keep it clean. They're going to give each other enough space. Kostovic is going to slot in behind, maybe try for the switchback, and Aguilar goes wide, but is able to hold on to the position for now. As the leader has started the final lap of the session. Aguilar still under fire from Joseph Kostovic. Waiting for a flight in Mumbai. Very nice. Well, was that like a trip or something? If it was, I hope you had a good time. And hope you have a safe flight. As they get into some backmarker traffic, that backmarker of, I believe that's Alex Martin, wanted none of it. Yeah, the Nissan of Aguilar has been zooming around the track. Vivacious, I don't know if I ever said hi to you earlier. I'm sorry if I didn't, but I hope you're doing alright tonight. Let's see, as they make their way around the first Lesmos. Now the second. We'll see if Joseph Kostovic can get a better exit. It looks like he will. He was thinking about making a move on the inside. Thinks better of it. He is running out of time to make a move here for the last podium position for the GT3 field. Joseph Kostovic. Aguilar just has to play defense and he should have this. They're going to go side by side going down the final stretch. Joseph Kostovic is going to have the outside going through Parabolica as Rivera is about to cross the line with Gonzalez right beside. Rivera actually barely wins it out with Gonzalez coming P2, and Kostovic actually overtakes Aguilar in the final seconds, and Aguilar comes P4. A very good finish. Jesus. Almost missed those final 2. We missed the final 2 moves, that's for sure. That was a close finish between these drivers, as a couple more drivers are coming across the line. It looks like... Who do we have for P1? Is it Hutchings in P1 for GT4 right now? Oh no. Feels bad. Yeah, but the money is cool. As it looks like Peter Hutchings coming around Parabolica for the last time in this Ginetta, and I believe he wins. He's going to take this GT4 victory in that Ginetta of his, as a lot of these drivers are coming across the line. Okay. So, it was an exciting finish for the top 4 between P1 and P2 and P3 and P4. But that was about it. It doesn't look like there was too much going on, as we have Ricardo Rivera taking the win, followed by Gage Gonzalez, and on the last corner, Joseph Kostovic is going to take the final podium position for your GT3 field. For the GT4 field, you got Peter Hutchings, Professor Chronotis, and Andreas Mostachero. For the GT4 Split 2, you got Jack Thompson, Daniel Versosa, and Gabe Carnes. That was a wild ride, everybody. Thanks for stopping by. We'll throw on some highlights, and we'll get to some interviews. As before we do that, we'll turn down the audio a little bit, not to interfere with the interviews. Make sure we get that replay saved. Yeah, so we'll throw on some interview. We'll throw on some highlights. See if anyone wants to partake in some interviews, and call it a night. Send you off somewhere. All right. Hey guys, how's it going?
It certainly was a challenge.
Everything good.
That was a fun one, it would seem.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh.
I was wrestling with the wheel the whole time because I made the excellent decision to not pit immediately for wets. I stayed out for like 40 minutes of the race on slicks, I think.
Oh,
That's a bold decision right there.
Well, I mean, it worked well enough to get P1 in my split, so I'm not complaining.
Exactly, it was the pro
I think
strat.
it was just because everybody was all over the place the whole time. Like I think I had a couple reverse entries in the corners occasionally.
Yeah, I guess
It was definitely good fun though. I just wasn't expecting the track to stay wet for so damn long.
yeah,
Because it's nighttime. That water's not going anywhere quick.
yeah, it's nighttime. There's no sun to help dry it out. The track is quite cool. Took forever to get the track from a wet to damp state. How did towards the beginning? I think it was like 10 to 15 minutes. It started to rain. Seeing that in not the prediction. What is it? The forecast. Sorry. How did that spice up the strategy at all for you guys? Start with Gage.
I think we got lucky and saw it on the forecast before, and so we fueled for just a little bit, and then just like Thomas said, wasn't expecting it to stay wet that long, so we thought it was going to dry up, and we lowered our pressures by just a little bit at ended up helping quite a bit because the rain didn't stick around forever.
Yeah, luckily it's only rained for like 15, 20 minutes or something like that.
Yes.
Yeah, but then it was wet for half an hour.
Yeah. Yeah, so how did the go with you next, Jack? How did the strategy change when you saw the rain coming into play?
Well, my original strategy, like I literally did it in there. I literally set it up before the race. I put extra fuel so that I didn't have to worry about fueling, and then I could just sort of pit for wets when I thought it was necessary. But as I've already said, that didn't quite happen, as I ended up staying out on slicks for pretty much as long as I humanly could deal with. I mean, it worked though, because I didn't hit any walls, and I didn't end up at the back of the field. So clearly something went right. I did eventually pit for wets in the last like 25 minutes of the race, though.
I mean, if it works, right?
It worked. Not complaining.
And now, what about you, Rivera? How did your strategy change?
A little bit similar to my teammate Gage, but I was the total opposite from from the guy talking just right now. My plan was to get into the wets pretty quickly and went with wets until the end. I had a prior experience on a spa race at night, and it never dry up. And if it dry, I think it's safer to just. It's not a compromise a lot of time being on wets on with a dry track for a few minutes. Basically, it didn't dry. I think it went to damp just the last 10 minutes or so.
Yeah, that's what happened.
But it was, I think, a little bit risky staying on dries on rain conditions. More on a track like this that you most of the time use a low wind.
For sure. And oh, you have something else to say?
No.
Oh, I just don't want to cut you off.
No, don't worry.
All right. Well, now we've got Chronotis in here. How did the rain affect your strategy throughout the race?
Well, at the end of last season, racing Nürburgring, we had the exact same weather forecast: medium rain in 15 minutes, starting with a dry track. And I went wets and absolutely destroyed my tires in 10 minutes of dry running before it started to rain, and ended up finishing the 90-minute race a half lap behind my normal competitors who started dry and switched to wets partway through. It really didn't work out that way. So this time I started on dries and pit after just a few laps at 5 minutes to wet. And since it was night, I knew it was never going to dry back out anyway. So I had a real good time on that plan. Pumped the ride height up a couple millimeters for the wet, and off I went. I don't normally finish up on the podium here. It's not often we get to have these chats.
Yeah, but you're not complaining, right?
No, that was a good race. That was my best race in a while for sure.
And how were with it being nighttime and a little wet on track, were the conditions hard to see in? Because there was a lot of people who seemed like they overshot the chicanes, or they may have locked up and just drove straight through them, because there was quite a bit of that tonight.
At the start, I was pretty liberal with getting off the track. Like, if there's contact ahead and the car's starting to go around, I wasn't hanging around to see how it turned out. I just, boop, off the track I go. Let the guys who should pass me back past me, and continue on with my life intact. So I didn't really experience too much chaos, because I kind of just got out of it really, really quickly, and I didn't spend too much time driving behind other cars either. In my Mercedes, it was pulling on everybody, so I didn't really have any visibility troubles. I had troubles. Sure, everybody did, as the track started to dry out near the end. We're all trying to make our wet tires last, so I was trying to search for the puddles and keep the tires cool.
For sure. And talking about chaos, that first lap was relatively clean going around the first two chicanes. I think there was like one or two cars that got completely destroyed. Well, not destroyed, but they got unlucky, we'll put it that way. But yeah, I would say that there was a really clean start to a Monza race.
Yeah, league races are a lot nicer than public lobbies that way.
All right, well, Eric, would you like to say any words to these fellows?
Just congratulations, you guys. I mean, it was a really difficult race. Great job to all of you. And I wanted to thank everyone who's on the stream. You guys help us break 500 followers, so really big milestone. Congratulations, Reed, for contributing towards that, and to all of our previous streamers. Really exciting to have achieved that. So thank you all so much, and all of our drivers who put on a great show.
Perfect. Well, you guys are free to leave whenever. Eric and I will close out the stream, and we'll find someone to throw it off to.
Yep, I got a raid already ready whenever you're ready to close it off, Reed.
Sounds good. I'll let's do a quick exit and we'll be off. Thank you everybody for tuning in here for the GT3 GT4 Summer 2022 Mixed Championship. Thanks everyone for coming out tonight, spending your evening here with us at Trackilicious. Hope you had a good time. Hope there was some action on the track, as much as there was drama. But anyways, guys, we will see you on Sunday night for the GT3 Championship. I honestly don't know where we're at, but it's at the same time. It will be starting at 8:30 EST qualifying. And yeah, that'll do it, everybody. Thanks for tuning in, and I hope you have a great rest of your evening. Good night, everybody.